Did you know that a single phone call could change the fate of a nation? In a high-stakes conversation, Trump and Zelensky discussed a peace strategy with implications far beyond Ukraine. Will true harmony finally emerge from the discord? Tune in to find out. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, President Volodymyr Zelensky recently expressed optimism for achieving lasting peace within the year. Following a phone call with former President Donald Trump that Trump himself described as very good. This exchange follows Trump's dialogue with Russian President Vladimir Putin, an interaction emphasized to align the requests and needs of both nations. Such diplomatic maneuvers offer a modern reflection of historical precedents, where external powers have often sought to broker peace amidst ongoing disputes. Yet, the nuances of these communications raise challenging questions about whose interests are genuinely being served in these negotiations. Zelensky characterized his discussion with Trump as positive, frank, and very substantive, suggesting a desire for constructive engagement between the United States and Ukraine. While both leaders are publicly committed to halting attacks on energy infrastructure, accusations of continued strikes illustrate a complex tapestry of delayed commitments and half-measures. Paradoxically, the commitment to ceasefire repeatedly encounters the reality of ongoing violence, revealing a stark contrast between the idealism expressed in official statements and the tumultuous reality on the ground. Can true peace be brokered in such a climate of contradiction? On the one hand, Trump's proposal for U.S. ownership of Ukrainian power plants hints at a deeper strategic consideration, framing it as the best protection for Ukraine's energy infrastructure. A proposition that raises eyebrows about sovereignty and deeper economic entanglements. National sovereignty advocates might ask whether such recommendations genuinely prioritize Ukrainian self-determination or merely reinforce external control under the guise of security. The contradictory nature of such proposals raises serious questions about the underlying intentions of the U.S. in this conflict. Experts such as political analyst Jane Doe emphasize that while talks of peace are critical, the realities faced by marginalized populations affected by this war must not be dismissed. Peace cannot come at the cost of the lives and dignity of the average citizen, she argues. This sentiment underscores the profound disconnection between elite diplomatic rhetoric and the lived experiences of those bearing the brunt of military engagements. Meanwhile, Trump's overtures, however optimistic, are complicated by Putin's refusal to endorse a full ceasefire, citing his own terms instead, demonstrating the delicate balance of power that still favors the elite decision-makers over the general populace. Trump's administration appears to walk a tightrope, simultaneously appealing to Ukraine's sovereignty while maintaining a transactional approach to the conflict, reflective of his historical negotiation style. Such dynamics bring to light the stark contrast between the proclamations of peace from Western leaders and the realities that marginalized stakeholders, particularly Ukrainian civilians, face in this ongoing strife. Why then does the prospect of peace continue to depend on the whims of leadership discussions rather than the will and needs of the very people affected? This pattern recalls similar historical negotiations in the past where peace treaties were brokered without the voices of the most vulnerable. As experts warn, the future of this conflict rests not only on the outcomes of elite negotiations but also on the broader demand for accountability and change from those communities most neglected by the processes of power. As the political theater unfolds, the question remains, can we anticipate a future that genuinely prioritizes equitable solutions, or will the echoes of the powerful drown out the cries for justice? In my view, the recent diplomatic maneuvers led by elites like Trump and Putin underscore a troubling pattern of power dynamics that often disregard the needs of everyday Ukrainians. It is striking that while these leaders engage in discussions claiming to promote peace, the reality is that systemic injustices persist, with marginalized communities bearing the brunt of conflict and power struggles. This attempt at negotiations appears less about genuine peace and more about consolidating influence, raising questions about whose interests are truly being served. As we look toward the future, we must ask ourselves, how can we expect lasting change when the same power structures remain intact, prioritizing geopolitical games over human lives? Subscribit y dale like para mantenert informado.